The more innovative that technology becomes, the greater the risk of cybersecurity threats. These dangers to cybersecurity include things such as data breaches, ransomware attacks, Trojans, and much, much more. This is why it is imperative to have an excellent IT team that is here to protect the company's data as well as the clients. Good afternoon. My name is Jordan Ponizhaylo, and I'm here today with Jeff Simmelink, our Director of Technology, and Dennis Reed, our IT Manager. Thank you so much for joining us today. So today we are here to talk about how Southern Cross utilizes cyber technology and the importance of protecting our clients' data. So let's go ahead and get started. How does technology and cybersecurity fit into Southern Cross's solutions?
Well, as we integrate technology into everything we do, and it's an initiative here at Southern Cross to integrate technology. As we do that, we need to be sensitive and aware of protecting our information, our data, both our information and data and our customers' information and data. So the Cybersecurity Framework, a plan of attack, is integral to our success. And we've, there's different ways that we can attack this. But we've kind of aligned ourselves with the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, their cybersecurity framework. We feel like it's a comprehensive solution that allows us to adapt and change as necessary to stay in front of these challenges.
And what exactly is NIST?
NIST is a national organization that, actually it's a worldwide organization, that defines standards within the technology arena. And the NIST cybersecurity framework really breaks down into 5 fundamental components. It's identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover are the first of the 5 fundamental areas that we look at.
Well, could you break down those 5 components? For example, what does identify mean?
Well, with regard to identify, what you're trying to do is, the first thing you have to know what assets that you have, the servers, the mobile devices, any technology component. And right now, as we move more into the cloud, everybody's talking about the cloud, you're using services provided by other vendors that provide us services and software. So we need to obviously identify all those things. We need to look at our business environment as it's evolving, looking at how we, through governance, how do we manage those items. We also have to do a risk assessment where we, if there's an impact of that service, how does that affect the business? How does it affect the data that we're using, both our own and our customers' data? And then we're also looking at things like, what's our strategy around that risk management? And then, really importantly now is the supply chain risk that we have with, the third-party vendors. What kind of practices and policies and procedures, what frameworks are they using for their own cybersecurity?
Okay. And the second one was protect.
Protect, yes.
You break down protect for us as well?
Yeah, so protect is you have to make sure that you have a good identity management system. So that's your usernames and passwords. Sometimes that's going to be using through authentication. You might implement things like what's called sometimes 2-factor or multi-factor, where something something you have. So I know my password, but then I'm using my cellular phone with an authenticator to say I have to have this other thing in addition to my password. How we control access into the various services and servers with things like who needs to get access to what when, right? So not everybody has access to everything. Making sure that people have an awareness of what it is that they're accessing through training, things like if I see data that I shouldn't have, what's my process to alert people that I'm getting access to things I shouldn't have, what things I should have, identifying the types of data that we have. Not all data is necessarily to be encrypted or classified, but you need to have a policy what data needs to be protected, when, how, what's the life cycle of that data. In IT, anybody that's been in IT long enough knows that something's not going to work as planned, not going to work as designed. All the best process And so having those processes of when something bad does happen, service on a server affects business operations, a file doesn't get delivered to the customer, or you get a phishing attack, that you look at those processes and said, this is what we did, this is the timeline of events that, here's all the things that were followed. And we have a process where we have the team, aggressively analyze what happened so that we can be better in the future. What did we do well? And more importantly, what could we do better? Mm-hmm. And then from that take and create, a set of action items, some improvements to either our processes or our technology, because it's a never-ending process, right? Mm-hmm. And then the last thing would probably, again, it's communications. Mm-hmm. So that if it affected a customer, if it affected a customer's internal or external, they say, this is what happened, this is, here's the root cause, and here's what we're going to do so that it doesn't happen again. So it's, again, communications, if you see this, communications is key in a lot of these elements. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it makes sense. I really appreciate you guys coming out here and explaining a little bit more about Southern Cross's software solutions to us today. It's clear to see that innovation and technology is really integrated into everything that you guys do, so that's wonderful. For those of you who want to learn a little bit more about Southern Cross's software and technology, please visit us at www.southerncrossinc.com. Thank you.